Good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome to Typography, and I wanted to welcome you to the class. My name is Ramon Tejada, and I'm going to be the professor for this class. So I just wanted to create a brief video to welcome all of you. Some of you, I understand, are new to me. Some of you I've had in classes before in the program. So again, I want to welcome you and sort of give you a brief overview of what we're going to be doing in the class. We're going to be involving ourselves with both the technical, conceptual, and historical aspects of typography, how we deal with language, and how we give it a visual form. And typography is a skill set that sort of resides at the center of the discipline of graphic design. A lot about graphic design is about communication, communicating messages, communicating stories, communicating narratives, and a lot of it is done through the use of typography. So by the end of the class, you will have developed a solid typographic practice, also one that you're confident at. One of the many things about typography is a lot of students and a lot of people tend to be nervous about it. So my goal for the class is to create an entry point for you to get comfortable with dealing with type. Um, Also keep in mind, type is one of those skills that you work over and over and over and over and over through your career. It's not something that you get and you go, oh, I'm done. So much of it is reliant on the context, on the content of what you're working on. So it can change. Also, I want you to keep in mind that a lot of the technology, the history, the theory, the ideas about typography that we're encountering in this class were developed in the Western context, Western European ideals of what typography is and was or should be. And now, for 2019, for us, a lot of that starts to erode a little bit. So starting to think, how do ideas that are based in Western Europe are applied to somewhere in the East, for example. So a lot of these ideas are not necessarily applicable or translate as easily to other systems of language. So we're dealing with Western typography, we're dealing with the Latin alphabets, but I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Also keep in mind that a lot of typography is based on printed material, right? So the ideas come from printing presses and printing paper and books in particular. So how does that apply to us today when so much of our typography is encountered on our phones, for example, or on the computer? So it's moving, it's screen-based. So I want you to start thinking about how those ideas of typography, those technical aspects of typography transpose themselves onto a digital form, onto motion. We're going to be working using Blackboard, Slack, and Google Hangouts. And pretty much it breaks down to this. In Blackboard, you can go and look at the assignment and look at the information that you need every week. Then you move on to Slack, where we actually are going to have the class. So in Slack, we can go ahead and do critiques and post things. I will also be posting the assignment onto Slack. So that way you have the materials there. We will also post additional materials on Slack just because it's a little more robust and flexible. All of our critiques will be in Slack. That way you can keep track of them. And then we'll use Google Hangouts and we'll schedule those. And I tend to use Google Hangouts, which I've done for the last 2 semesters, as a way to really create a community in the class, as a way for people to see each other, even though we're in different places, as a way for us to ask questions that other people might have. And if I need to demo, I can demo on there and show people how to do things. But there'll be a lot of videos on how to do things. There's several videos that I've already done about doing technical software things. So I will post those up there as well. Just again, Slack is a little more flexible than Blackboard, so we've been experimenting with it in the program. I want to keep you in mind that all the work that is due on Saturday night at midnight. That's Central Time. I'm on the East Coast, but let's keep it to Central Time in Minneapolis. And then your critiques of each other's work are due Monday night by midnight. So every week you will be posting work, and then you'll be critiquing each other's work. And in terms of the critique, please, critiques are meant to be generous, thoughtful, respectful, so please be adherent to that. That's super, 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 super important, and we're respectful and thoughtful about each other's work as we're learning from each other and learning with each other. So I want to be very clear about that. So with that being said, I wanted to say welcome to class, and let's get going.